Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Daily Debate. My name is Ahmed Nader, and tonight we're going to focus on the efforts of Egypt on the political and the humanitarian fronts to be alleviating the suffering of the Palestinian citizens in the Gaza Strip and ways of strengthening the Palestinian cause and question in the next few months. And even will be shedding more light on the efforts of Egypt to be helping Lebanon in terms of the conflict going on between Hezbollah in the south and Israel as well. We'll be shedding more light on the latest developments that took place for today with my dear guest for tonight in the studio, Ambassador Midhat El-Meligi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister and the member of the Egyptian Council for Foreign Affairs. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. But we'll be starting straight away with the main top stories for today that took place throughout Sunday as President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received President of the African Development Bank, the AFDB Group, Sidi Wald Tah. President al-Sisi affirmed Egypt's full support for the AFDB President's leadership, especially in light of the current economic and the geopolitical challenges that impact the developmental efforts in the African countries. The meeting tackled enhancing cooperation between Egypt and the bank. President al-Sisi also stressed the support for the bank's role in addressing the economic challenges in Africa and promoting development. The meeting reviewed the Egyptian economic reforms, infrastructure projects in the African continent, and the cross-border projects that contribute to strengthening the regional integration and achieving high standards of development. Both sides also discussed the upcoming African Business Forum due in Alamein City in June of 2026 and agreed on continuing enhancing the strategic cooperation. And still with the activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who had received on Sunday Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, the presidential spokesman Mohammed al-Shinawi said that the meeting discussed a number of political, economic, educational and social files. Attracting investments, increasing exports and localizing industries within the 2030 Egypt vision also topped the agenda of the meeting. Al-Shinawi said that during the meeting, President al-Sisi stressed the necessity of covering the state's needs of the strategic goods for the sufficient periods of time in light of the regional and the international developments. He stressed the need to continue with the efforts to decrease inflation and increasing expenditure in the sectors of health, education and social security. He reiterated the need to control the market prices and reassured the provision of the food commodities. The meeting also reviewed the preparations to inaugurate the new Senghor University campus in Burj Al Arab City in Alexandria, which is to take place this month. The spokesman said that the project reflects the depth of cooperation between Egypt and the international partners and contributes to boosting development and capacity building in Africa. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi offered heartfelt condolences to the Egyptian people and those who appreciate the authentic art over the passing away of the iconic singer and composer Hani Shaker. Via the social media account, the President paid tribute to the late singer who promoted singing with the sweetest of the artistic innovations in all the national, social and humanitarian occasions. President al-Sisi prayed to God to bless Shaker's soul and bestow patience and solace upon his family and acquaintances. The Rafah border crossing received on Sunday a new group of Palestinians returning to the Gaza Strip. The Red Crescent is facilitating the measures for the return of the Gazans, constituting the 40th group of returnees with the concerned bodies. Meanwhile, the Egyptian authorities prepared for receiving a new group of injured and sick Palestinians from the Strip to receive treatment in the Egyptian hospitals. In a related development, the 187th humanitarian aid convoy from Egypt started entering a subgate of the Rafah land port in the direction of Karm Abu Salim. The convoy carries tons of food and relief aid, medicines and fuel. And the final top story for the daily debate for tonight is that the Israeli military issued new evacuation warnings in southern Lebanon for the villages beyond the area it occupies, despite the truce with Lebanon intended to halt the fighting with Hezbollah. Lebanon's state-run national news agency later reported a series of Israeli strikes across southern Lebanon, including on towns not mentioned in the evacuation warning. On Wednesday, the Israeli military chief of staff Eyal Zamir had threatened to strike Hezbollah beyond the yellow line, which marks the area of the Israeli control.